Here we go. G'day guys and girls out there. Welcome to the live draw for the pit lane garages for the upcoming AMS Oz Bathurst 500. This is something that's a little bit new. We've never done anything like this before, let alone on a live stream. So for those of you who don't know who I am but recognise the voice, my name is Steve Devries. Hello. This is what the background of my broadcast booth looks like every week that we do one of these broadcasts. Some of you have met me in the flesh in real life, and some of you will actually realise my hair is usually not this long. I mean, look how I'm getting a bit of a mullet going on here. That's a part of the fact of the matter is the state rounds for the last, better part of the last 9 months haven't gone ahead, and I haven't had a haircut. So I've been forced to do what I can with it, so it looks half decent tonight. Joining me on the bottom of the screen is going to be my co-commentator for the 500 in Lewis Wedding. And mate, you've got a beanie on, so either you've got a bad hairstyle or your head's a bit cold.
It's certainly not cold because I've got a shirt on. But yeah, I think I'm in the same boat. I've had terrible haircuts for the past 6 months, and it's pretty long at the moment. So I've gone and whacked a beanie on. Otherwise, I'd have a bit of alfalfa at the bottom of the back of the headset there. So I've had to whack a beanie on.
There's a few guys I think that are probably due for a haircut. I think I heard Dane Liccardo the other day say to me he's due for one. He's been growing his hair for about the last 18 months or so. So he's doing much better than I am at the minute. I'm working on 9 at the moment. But nonetheless, this is an event that we've been looking forward to for a couple of months now, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been building it up for quite a bit, and hopefully we get a bit of interest with this, and we get a few more guest cars in, and then hopefully, on the night of the obviously qualifying and the racing, we have some fantastic racing all the way through the 81 laps of Bathurst.
And not only that, 19 runners as it stands right now. Still a couple of guys out there looking for some co-pilots. I think Zach Ross is one of those who's I'm surprised hasn't found himself a partner yet. So guys that are in Super 2, if you're still interested in getting in for the Bathurst 500, there's a very quick man from Supercars still looking for an entry. And of course, if you're not part of the AMS Oz community and you do want to take part, we're more than happy to have you on board. Please come along and let's try and max out the grid. At the moment, we're looking pretty handy with 19 cars, but we'd love to get it up and over 20. So
yeah, well, we do have four drivers currently. Well, 3 actually, because Glenn obviously told you today that he's not racing. But
correct.
Yeah, we've got 3 guys in there at the moment. So John McDonald, G-Wiz24, and in Discord, Super Supreme Ultra Mega Mecha Zach, or Zach Ross, as he's more commonly known as, are all looking for drivers. So if you are interested and haven't, as you said, signed up, have a look, jump on the Discord or on the Facebook, ask around either Stephen, Lewis, myself, or anyone in the admin team, and we'll help sort out a drive for people.
Well, how we're going to do this event tonight is pretty straightforward. We're going to have a list of 19 pit garages. There's actually about 40 in pit lane at Bathurst. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to have numbers 1 through 19, and then there'll be a gap between each garage on the track. And then we're actually going to draw the names out, or the numbers for the cars out of a hat. So this is my hat that I wear when I'm outside. It used to be the hat that I used to wear when I was at the Speedway all those many years ago. But you can see there's a whole bunch of folded up bits of paper in there. And we'll draw them out at random. We'll add them to the list, and then we'll have ourselves a pit lane draw. But first and foremost, before
pit party.
A bit of a party. Before we go too much further, we probably need to acknowledge there's a number of guys that have come on board and not only supported this event for the next couple of weeks, but also that have supported the AMS Oz community for a number of years already. So if we have a look at some of those guys, the first of those down your screen there is Matt Harvey Repair and Shoon, the title sponsor. It is the Matt Harvey Repair and Shoon Bathurst 500. So thanks to Matt and Brock for getting that one together and organising the title sponsor for this wonderful event. Antara Resort Style Living. So a lot of guys probably haven't heard of that. That's Mike Coulston company that he works for over in Saudi Arabia, and that's actually been funded out of his own pocket with the Antara branding. They actually put a prize up for the GT3 Sprint Series just recently as well. So big thanks to Mike. Cam Rutledge is a familiar name. Cam Rutledge Electrical up in New South Wales. He's a familiar sight in many of the AMS Oz grids. So it's great to have him on board as a sponsor. So thank you very much to Cam. Kalen Duncan and DriveX have put their hand up in the last couple of days and contributed a little bit of money towards the Bathurst 500 as well. So again, thanks to Kalen for putting some money up for that. And then, of course, Michael, the Floodman Zalavari, who's a commentator here in AMS Oz, and Chris Kiwi Riddell, or Kiwi Chris Riddell, rather, and the WEC Endurance Chat. They've been doing a fantastic job with the ATCC and TCAC streams this year, and they've put a little bit of money towards it as well. Now, it's the money itself, guys, just so you know, doesn't go towards any prize money of any nature. That is purely and simply to help the guys and girls at AMS Oz that fund everything out of their own pockets to recoup some of the costs that we would normally have to run over the course of a year. Things like live races and, dedicated servers and that. So we're not certainly making any money out of it. We're just covering everything that we do. So thanks very much, guys, for your support. So here it is. Here is the pit lane and the pit exit. So garages numbers 1 through to 19, and we will draw a random set of numbers. So if you can see here, if we click in the box there, we have all of the car numbers throughout the grid and all the way down, and we will just put one of those in whenever we happen to draw a number out of the hat. So I guess, Lewis, without any further ado, you might want to pick one of these pit garages at random, and let's draw out our first car.
I think we'll start off with lucky 7, I think.
Lucky number 7. All right. Well, my daughter's in the room. Penny, would you like to come here, please? This is what we're going to do. We're going to do something a little bit different. She can have the honour of drawing the first one out. Here we go. Smile, darling, you're on candid camera. Just pick one. Pick one for Daddy. Oh, they're all stuck together. That's wonderful. All right, but you pick this one. Come on. Let's get them all together. All right, pick another one. There you go, pick one. All right, that one you got your fingers on right there. They're all stuck together. These are post-it notes, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Penny. You can go back to playing with the DVDs behind me. So lucky number 7 is car number 94. So car number 94, I believe, if memory serves me correctly, is the Anson Motorsports entry. Yes, it is. So it's Daniel Cox and Callum Watmore. The Anson Motorsports Ford Falcon FGX draws lucky pit garage number 7. Now, Daniel Cox is a familiar name in Super 2 for us from this year, Lewis, and a couple of other series, but Callum Watmore, this is his first foray into AMS Oz.
It is. That said, I do recognise that name from somewhere. I can't pin my name, put my finger on it, but I have seen that name about somewhere. But yeah, Daniel Cox, he's been quite solid in Super 2, and they've got quite a nice looking livery as well as a painted up garage and truck. So they're going to be one of the lookers in the field. And
of course, Daniel Cox went to quite enormous lengths with, I think, Adobe Premiere to get his livery reveal the last time out we had at the Supercars event, Phillip Island, and did a fantastic job as well. Some guys putting in not only some super liveries, but some super efforts in some of these reveals as well. So really loving the creativity that our community comes up with from time to time.
Yeah, there's been some really good stuff out there. I'm just having a look through some of the Discord chat, and I do remember, I think it was the 237 car, the 2 AP SimSport cars. I think they both have some nice little posters and stuff that are set up that are really cool. So everyone's gone through a great length to create some really good looking liveries out there. It's going to be a really good looking field, and yeah, also going to the extra length of making promo videos and posters.
And not only that, I can see Daniel Cox in the live stream has said thanks, Penny, with a nice little smile for drawing his name out. Lucky the first car out, so very, very lucky. So what we'll do is we might draw another one out just to make sure it's completely random. I'll mix them up here, and then I'll hold it up so I don't know which one I'm looking at. And what garage are we going to go for now, Lewis?
Well, they call this the unlucky number, but I think it's super lucky, so number 13.
All right. Unlucky for some, lucky for others. And we have car 078. Now, this car number, if memory serves me correctly, is the Roadie and Zolazak car. That it is. The first of the VF Commodores to come out. The PBF team armchair experts. Roadie's no stranger to having a mouthful for a team name. But Zolazak is one of his friends from, I think it's his Forza Motorsport ventures online, and he's one of the international competitors. He's coming in, I think, from Indianapolis in the United States, if memory serves me correctly.
Yeah, so I've got a Canadian, and I've also got an American. I don't know too much about him, but they're going to be driving, from what I've been told, an Xbox Cross Furniture Row racing crossover. So I think it's like a NASCAR kind of livery mixed with some Xbox as well. So that should be a pretty good looking car, and they're going to be driving the VF Commodore.
Yeah, and not only that, given the PBF in front of the team name there, I'd imagine that he's getting a little bit of help on the setup work from the likes of Brenton Foley, Phil Boak and co, who he's partnered up with this year in Supercars. So he's going to have a pretty good mentor to go along with his new teammate that probably hasn't had a lot of experience with AMS.
Yeah, it's going to be a complete unknown. Obviously, he's not raced with us before, and we don't know too much about him. So hopefully he comes in and surprises everybody and can put in a strong performance.
All right. Another bit of mixing going on here. Let's pick up another car. All right, got one in my hand. Which garage does this one belong to, Lewis?
Number 8.
As they say in The Simpsons, with a bit of a burp. Car 51 for garage number 8. Car 51 belongs to Termo and Cam Rutledge. So these are two familiar names that we've seen. They actually are in the same team in the Supercars Championship, just in slightly different coloured cars. And this is the Kmart Racing VF Commodore, from what I've been told. In Supercars, they both pilot ZBs. So this is a bit of a change in terms of looks for them. But two gentlemen that are no strangers to each other.
Yeah, obviously those guys have both been around for quite a while, and they are part of that sort of CRE racing group. I've only seen recently only today, just then, that they're actually racing in the Kmart car. Obviously, I think Termo's worn or used 51 quite a bit.
That's his usual number, yep.
But yeah, it's good to see him out there. And the VF Commodore in the Kmart car, I was going to say when 51 was called, it's Greg Murphy.
It's Greg Murphy.
But no, it's Termo.
No, in this case, it's Termo. And on top of that, we should note as well that as much as Cam Rutledge is putting in a little bit of dough for some sponsorship for this event, this is going to be his last event before he goes in for shoulder surgery as well. He's going to be missing the last couple of rounds of the Supercars Championship, so that's the Gold Coast, Sandown, and the yet-to-be-named final event to replace the Bend for the Supercars Championship. So on top of good luck to Cam Rutledge in the 500, we also wish him good luck and a speedy recovery from his surgery that will take place shortly after the event.
Yeah, hopefully they have a really good run, so when he is recovering, he can remember the good result that they had at Bathurst. It is going to be one of those ones where he will be putting that shoulder to a bit of work around there.
Oh, yeah.
Which shoulder is it? Is it the left or the right shoulder?
He hasn't told me. I believe it's the right, but that's just from what I've been hearing. He will have to confirm
that's not one where you're going to be stressing quite a bit around Bathurst.
Yeah,
so
a lot of inputs
hopefully
turning to the left, which means your right hand does all the work by pushing the wheel, and your left hand is effectively useless. So
yeah, so I think Termo will be in the car a little bit more, I think, than poor old Cam with the shoulder.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Also noticing there as well, Brendan Ross in a live chat. Hopefully no 5-minute penalties for these guys. Of course, we can all remember the 5-minute dunny break that Greg Murphy had in the mid-2000s to go along with that as well. So very, very famous moment in Supercars history. All right, let's draw another one. So still got a few more to go. We have to move this on a little bit, I think, but we are having a good chat. All right, so which pit garage for this one?
I'm going to go off chat here, so I'm going to go number 9.
Yes, I did see there was a number 9 from Mr. Brunswick, who's put that in the chat. And number 9 belongs to car number 22. So car number 22 is the first of the father and son pairings to be drawn out. So this is the Greg Turra and Noah Turra Ford Mustang GT, the Petty Rivalry Motorsport. Those two teamed up in a similar team name for the recent GT3 Sprint Series. And car number 22 and Ford Mustang is their decided weapon of choice. Now, this is a little bit of I'd like to say, an interesting pairing, because there's no doubt that Greg Turra is very, very quick on any given day, but Noah has been improving year on year, Lewis, every single time we've seen him.
Yeah, he's been a little bit sporadic this year, but every time we've seen him, he's getting better and better and better. So they should be a pretty interesting combo. I'm trying to remember the last time Greg actually raced a supercar. I think it was in our inaugural season way back in 2018. It would have been the first half of the season. So been a while since we've seen him in a supercar, but it's certainly good to see him back out there. And with Noah, we did see him in Super 2, and he did a really good job when he was racing before. Obviously, he did miss a few rounds, but he was getting better and better in that too. So hopefully they can put up a good show in the Mustang.
And I did see Greg Turra cutting a few laps the other night when we had the practice server up too. So I think he's getting his eye in and just getting familiar with the track again and seeing how he goes. We might see if Penny wants to draw another one out here if she's not playing with DVDs. Penny, do you want to come and draw another one out of the hat? Yes. Okay, so Penny will come and draw the next one out of the hat. Come on, put that down. You can go back to it in a minute. She loves playing with the DVDs. If you can see all the DVDs over my left shoulder here, 99% of those do not belong to me. They belong to my wife. So this is the only spot in the house we can actually store them. All right,
Maybe put the sticker notes on the DVDs and she'll be able to pick them out.
Oh, we could do it that way as well. She's drawn out another one. So here we go. And which garage are we going here, Lewis?
We're going to go number 3, I reckon.
Garage number 3. Car 074 for garage number 3, which is the Brenton Foley and Brendan Ross entry. The PBF Race Engineering VF Commodore. Again, two guys that are no strangers to racing with each other. They are in the same team in supercars, and they are pairing up for this particular Enduro. Brenton Foley, of course, the defending supercars, or Super 2 for us last year champion, and a multi-time TCC and TCR Ros champion. 4 out of the 5 front-wheel drive series wins went to him. Brendan Ross has had some pretty good results as well. He's multi-time race winner, and I can't recall if he's got a championship or 2 under his belt. Lewis, you might be the one to back me up on that one.
He may have one of the Monday night series, one of the rookie series under his belt. I'm just trying to remember. I know he choked away 1 or 2 of them as well, but he may have a rookie title under his belt. But yeah, he's a race winner in his own right. Both of them have sort of had a bit of a down year, but I do expect them to put in a little bit of practice and get a good result. And of course, Foley won this race. Well, it wasn't the same race, but the Bathurst race last year.
Yeah,
so do expect that pairing to be quite strong.
Yeah, which was the 300-kilometre race. That was 49 laps. And the one word I recall, Hans Brunswick commented when we did the live stream for it, the way he handled that win was it was brutally uncompromising. He won by an enormous margin over a 49-lap race. So he's going to have his work cut out for him this time, because there are some quite strong pairings in this field, and some of them we had to draw most of them out of this hat. So we'll draw another one, keep this one moving along. You can pick me another garage.
Reckon we'll go number 2 here.
Number 2.
Right next to it.
Actually, I've got a couple stuck together here, so I'm just going to have to take one of them apart. That's what happens. I folded the post-it notes the wrong way. So garage number 2 is car number 420. So getting into some of the bigger numbers.
It's Transmech.
That is the Transmesh Racing Nissan of NZ Snipes and Cheese. So the Kiwis have drawn well here. Up second box from the pit lane exit.
Yeah, long way down, but quick way out. So they'll be able to get in and then just blast out of the pits there. And those guys, particularly Snipes, he had some really good results in Super 2, and Cheese got better as the season got on as well. He started off a little bit slow, but towards the back end of the season, he was getting some really solid results. So they could be a really good runner in that little midfield pack, I reckon.
Yeah, and on top of that, those guys came into Super 2 about 5 or 6 rounds in as the COVID crisis struck, and we started to see our numbers really go up on a huge upward trajectory. And I think you're right. Some of those guys started to acclimatise a lot better than others earlier on, and then they all got better and all got faster as the racing went on. And there's still a couple more of them we're yet to draw out as well. So I reckon those guys are probably, I'm with you, I think they're probably some solid mid-pack runners in that. They might threaten the back end of the podium if a few guys fall over, but that's a really nice solid pairing. And not only that, they've got the luxury as well of being able to race from the same location as well. They've been looking at that idea as well because they live pretty close to each other. So that's really good to see as well. All right, next one out of the hat. Again, they're all starting to stick together, so we'll pull them apart. Where are we going with this one? How about we go, let's go with garage
right
number...
Back.
Yeah,
right back to the bottom, not number 19,
all
I
right.
reckon, all the way down there.
All right, I was about... You're with me on this one. Oh, this is not going to be popular. This is car number 26, so I know exactly which car this is. They are not going to be happy with this draw whatsoever. This is the Steve Burko and Hans Brunswick Hardbass Racing car. We've got to remember the K on the end because apparently it's got something to do with the Russians, but they are not going to be pleased to have drawn Garage 19. Short way in, so they got the first one off, but they got a long tour down pit lane.
Yeah, the Eurobeat will be intensifying. I think Hans will probably be blowing up in the plebs Discord chat right there. I think he would have wanted the number one,
he'll
but
he'll think this is rigged.
yeah, he'll think it's rigged. So they'll be wanting a reverse of fortunes in the race, where they might have the reverse order here in the pits, but they'll want to be at the top at the end of the race. And they're going to be an interesting combo because Hans, I think he surprised a lot of people in Super 2. I mean, he jumped in, he was sort of in the midfield when he started, but it didn't take him very long, and he was running at the front and was really, really quick. And he's been quick in the Porsches and anything else he's touched. And obviously Burko, the Super 2 champion as well. So they're going to be quite a strong pairing, and I reckon they're a really good shout for a podium, and they're going to be running, I reckon, in the top 5 most of the day.
I would agree with you on that one. I think that pairing is extremely quick, and both of those guys are more than capable of qualifying the race car as well. So I think that's going to be a really interesting choice to work out who's going to qualify and who's going to start, because they're extremely well matched.
Yeah, that's gonna be a difficult one to call, and it might be something that it gets decided pretty much on the night. Where, okay, I'm in more of a rhythm than the other guy, and he just goes in and does the qualifying lap, and hopefully top 10 shootout for them.
Mixed results for those guys in the live chat as well. We can see them saying that a few people saying queuing the Benny Hill theme music and the hard bass racing music as well, pumping all day long in the pit garage. So that'll be interesting to see. All right. Well, I've just been told it's Penny's turn to draw another one, so we'll let her draw another one. Come on, sweetheart. There you go. Pick one. Oh, you just picked the first one that's in front of you. Okay, that's really good. All right, you can go back to playing with those DVDs. Where does this one go, Lewis?
I reckon we go number 16 here.
All right, so 16, dead smack in the middle between 13 and 19 is 16. Car 56. This is the next Mustang out, and this is the Peter Thrower and Darren Kemp Ford Mustang, the Beyond Motorsport car. Again, a couple of guys that applied their trade mostly in Super 2 this year.
Yeah, didn't see too much of Peter Throw. I think he was late on to the season, but Darren Kemp has been one. He's got some new gear, got some new Fanatec gear, and from what I've seen, he's been getting quicker and quicker. So the last time we saw him out in Super 2, he's picked up his pace quite a bit. And Peter Thrower, I reckon he's going to be a solid runner. So they're going to be a really good car out there. They're going to be an interesting car to watch. And I expect them to be, as the race goes on, to get a little bit stronger. So I do expect them to be in that midfield pack.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I would think that they're probably destined to finish in the top 10 if they can keep it together and keep it on the road cleanly. There'll be quite a number of guys, I think, that are right in contention to stay in that top 10.
Yeah, that midfield's going to be very close.
All right, next one to come out. Where are we going with this one? Let's say we go, what do you reckon we go position 10 for this one?
Yeah, why not?
Why not for position 10? Car 23 for position number 10, which is the Matt Cecil and Taipan, the second of, or the AP SimSport, or first of the AP SimSport Ford FGX Falcons to come out. There, of course, is two in this race. Again, two guys that have applied their trade mostly in Super 2 this year. Matt Cecil is dotted in a couple of performances in some of the other series, but Matt Cecil does have a Super 2 race win this year. He won one of the Townsville races, and on his day, he's got some pace. So I think he's probably going to be the one I'd expect to qualify this car, Lewis. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'd expect Cecil to qualify that car, but Taipan's another one again. As the season went on in Super 2, he really improved and had some really solid runs. So that's going to be, again, another car in that midfield. It's going to be really, really tight. And, Cecil, he's had a bit of bad luck this year, particularly the second half of the year in all the sim racing I've seen him do. So he'll be hoping for a nice, clean run. If they can do that, again, they're going to be a really solid car out there.
I might ask my wife if she wants to come and draw this one. Bob, would you like to come and draw the next one out of the hat? All right. Well, we've got to remember my wife is about 34 weeks pregnant at the minute, so she's got to get up off the couch where she's watching some telly at the minute, and then she's going to come and draw the next one. And she can probably take Penny with her while she's at it, because Penny's now gotten stuck into more of the DVDs than I expected she would. So, so this is Chantel coming in to draw the next one. She can wave everybody on the camera. There you go. The wonderful woman that makes my world tick here. Thank you very much. Behind every great man is always a great woman, and Lewis will testify to that as well.
Yep.
Okay, and I know what car number this is. I'm not going to reveal it. Where does it go?
Legs 11, I reckon.
Legs 11. Legs 11 for car 50.
It's the other father-son combo, Spencer Racing. True.
That is correct. So dead smack in the middle of pit lane for Wayne and Liam Spencer. Now, again, these guys have got some serious pace, Lewis. Liam especially has come on in leaps and bounds from the minute we saw him start in Super 2 when he used his father's account at Simmons Plains in race 3, and we had to correct the results afterwards. He's come on leaps and bounds, and Wayne Spencer is fast in just about anything he jumps into. This is a pairing I think has got top 5 written all over it, if not podium. If they get it together, they are a real podium chance.
Yeah, that's my immediate thoughts. They're a top 5 runner. Liam, as we know, he's got really, really good pace. Does do a bit of karting in real life as well. Obviously, COVID hit, so he had nothing to do except for the sim stuff. And Wayne, he's been quick, but as of late, he's been getting quite quick himself. And thankfully for him, he's got a little bit of bragging rights over Liam in some cases. So that they're going to be really, really quick. And I expect that car as well as the Burka and Hans car to probably battling each other throughout the race for what could be a podium position in the end if there's a bit of bad luck for some of the faster runners.
Now, we are yet to draw out a few of the heavy hitters. So they'll be sweating it right now because looking at all the dots that are on that map, there's at least 3 or 4 heavy hitter cars that we have not drawn out just yet. I'm not sure what's in my hand right now. Who have we got? All right, I know what we've got. Where are we going with this particular car?
I reckon we'll go number 18 here.
All right, well, we're going 18 for car number 167.
This is the Volvo dealer team, the second Volvo dealer team.
That is the second Volvo dealer team car. So this is the 2 young bulls. This is Dane Liccardo and Liam Budd. Liam Budd primarily applies his trade over at Automobilista Supercars Championship in Super 2. Dane Liccardo actually does some over there as well and has come across and done a bit of racing in AMS Oz as well. Dane got his first win last night in Assetto Corsa Aussie Down Under Series, so he's got that monkey off his back because he's got some pace and he's only getting better and better. We haven't had a really good chance to evaluate what Liam's capable of, but from what we've seen from Super 2 over at ASC, we believe that those guys are pretty well paired.
Yeah, they're going to be a fairly solid pairing. And, well, Dane, he drives just about anything. I mean, every time we look, he's practicing for an AC race or a ASC, and then we've got Super 2 and, some other events that we have. So he races anything with wheels, and he's been getting better and better. And from what I've seen with Liam Budd, he's quite solid as well. So, again, that midfield is going to be close, and they're going to be right in the thick of it.
All right, how many more we got to go? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars still to be drawn out. So here's the next one. Where are we going for this car, Lewis?
I reckon we'll go number 12 here.
Number 12 belongs to car 39.
The Matt Schwass entry.
Yes, now this is a slightly unusual pairing because the GN that we don't have a car manufacturer that these guys are running. I'm actually, if you're watching the live stream, please reminder to get back to me and let me know what car you've actually picked so we can put you in the mod. But the GN was registered when the registrations opened, and we can only assume here that the GN stands for Greg Nangle. And if that's the case, those of you who watched the live stream last year of the Bathurst 300 qualifying will remember the Hey Nangle over the top of Mount Panorama up on 2 wheels for an enormous amount of time. He thought he was in the Tour de France on 2 wheels for that long, but we can only hope that we've got him back for another year.
Yeah, he'll be hoping not to repeat the antics of trying to imitate his favourite cyclists and go on 2 wheels. But at least he put on a show, and they'll be hoping to put on a bit of a show in whatever car they do pick. And we do know Greg, he can be quite quick, and Schwass himself, he's no slouch. So again, if they put in some laps, that midfield again, I keep saying it every time because it's very, very close, but they're going to be right there. Okay,
next car out. What do you reckon, Lewis? We've got a little bit of we've only got one gap on there. That's the biggest of them all, and then we've got a couple dotted all around the place. Where does this car belong?
I reckon we go number 17.
17 is for car 237. Car 237.
The second AP Sim Sport car. That's the Lachlan Lock and Avenger Ben car.
Avenger Ben, correct. So a couple of guys, I think, again, that are pretty well suited to each other. Run similar sort of pace from what we've seen in the likes of Super 2 and Porsche Cup this year as well. So I think those guys are a pretty handy pairing and will probably work pretty well together.
Yeah, they should be a pretty solid pairing. They haven't done too much driving here in AMS Oz, but they're looking to get some more running under their belt, and they've got quite a decent livery in that car as well. I think it's the '07 Richards car that obviously Richards and I think Frosty ran at Bathurst that year.
Yeah, they ran that. I believe it was in the BA or BF Falcon guys, and of course this one's going to be an FGX. So livery has been adapted to suit, which is good. And that's actually in the live chat. They've actually just said, hey, 17 won last year, so they're hoping it's a lucky number. Of course, Scott McLaughlin ran 17 in last year's Bathurst 1000, so they're hoping that Garage 17 brings them a little bit of luck, not car number 17.
Who's 12? So it looks like the Matt Schwass and
Greg Nangle,
entry is going to just hold up the field for him.
if that's the logic that if that's the logic that we're going with. All right, what do you say we go garage number 1 with this, mate? Let's get it up, put it over and done with, get it out of its misery.
Straight to the top here.
Straight to the top. Oh, these guys are going to be absolutely stoked that they've drawn this one. Car 718. This is a very, very quick pairing. This is the Scott Stancliffe and Tim Redmond entry, the Kiwi SimSport ZB. And I think these guys are within earshot of winning this thing, not just because they've drawn well in the pit lane, but I think genuinely on pace, these guys are going to give the front runners a real tough time. These are about one of the top 5 cars, I think, that can win this race.
Yeah, pace-wise, Redmond is quick, and then you got Scott Stancliffe, who in the Super 2 race, he showed up and he wasn't hungover. He was still under the sauce. And he was still blowing people away on that day. And in practice beforehand, I think he set a 4 or something like that. So he's blindingly quick. And Tim Redmond, he's a good match with Stancliffe because he's also super consistent as well as being fast. So Scott can be a little bit wayward, but he's got the pace there to help him out. It's all going to be about strategy for them and avoiding a little bit of the carnage. If they can do that, they're going to be one of the front runners for sure.
On top of that, I expect Scott Stancliffe probably to be the one that jumps in for qualifying to put that car probably on the first 2 rows at least, if not the front row. Such as him and Lime Mitch in Super 2 were the ones that were really trading the fast laps a lot in Super 2 qualifying. Lime Mitch is still yet to, and his teammate are yet to find a home on this pit lane board here as well. And it also has set off a bit of a chain reaction in the live chat as well. There's a few guys at Tim Redmond very happy about that, and a few guys are starting to blow up as well. So they're all mixed emotions. I think everybody that was still left was quietly hoping that number 1 was going to be theirs, but only one car can have number 1, gentlemen.
Yeah, Luke Rosella there in the chat, not too happy,
no.
But it's going to have to live with it.
That's just the way the cookie crumbles, guys. This is, like I said, it's random draw. That's why we do it. We don't want to be biased to anybody. Normally, if guys want to remember how this works, if it was a championship round, it'd be based on the pit draw from how last year's results were. So actually quite a lot of guys are lucky that they've ended up where they are, because some of them would actually be right down the other end of pit lane. Some of them would be right up the other end. So it's a little bit random. All right, so what do you say we put this one at number 5, Lewis? That way it takes away a pretty big gap there at the top end of pit lane.
Yeah, I was thinking of filling that gap between 4 and 6, so let's see what it is.
It's car 47. It's a car 47. We all know who this one belongs to, don't we?
That's Kurt Stenberg, but we still, even though it's got Dane Warren in the car at the moment registered, we're still waiting on confirmation whether he will race or not. So that will be a very, very quick pairing and probably the short odds favourites with Nickies.
Fair to say that they're not the runaway favourites just yet. They were, when the name went down, a lot of guys probably got a little bit intimidated initially and thought, you know what, these guys are going to be probably front runners all day long. The late mail came in about 2 hours ago from Kurt Stenberg to myself saying that he's definitely confirmed to race. He's just waiting for Dane to confirm that his schedule aligns with it, and the team name and the livery, and that would be confirmed in due course. But for those of you obviously not in the know, Dane Warren and I believe Kurt as well were in the midst of qualifying for the Real World Supercars E-Series. Dane, of course, has been picked up by, I think it's WAU, if memory serves me correctly. and he's found himself a home for a second consecutive year. So, on behalf of the AMS Oz guys, congrats to Dane Warren for making it through again to the Supercars E-Series, but that's where we believe the conflict may be happening there with conflicts of interest. So if that's the case, that becomes a really interesting seat to see who fills that spot if Dane's unable to make it.
Yeah, still not sure who will, but there are a number of drivers that we think that Kurt's friends with and has driven with in the past that might fill that seat. So still going to be a quick car regardless, but yeah, if Dane Warren isn't able to make it, it certainly opens things up. But if he does make it, well, it's just a bigger target on their back. If they get beaten, that's one of the fastest sim races, not only in Australia, but in the world. So
Oh, yeah.
if someone managed to beat them, that's bragging rights that, people can't take away. So
You're absolutely spot on. 4 cars left and 4 garages left. Your call, mate. What do we do?
I reckon we go back down to 15.
All right, let's start filling them in. Garage number 15 is car 11.
That's the Wildcat racing car.
The
only Mercedes.
The only Mercedes in the field. And the second of our international competitors comes up for this one. So Pierre Roy is the man that you correctly alluded to earlier, Lewis, is based in Canada. And Ujit Mishra, who's another one of the newcomers to AMS Oz this year. Started out slowly, did a bit in Super 2. He's done some good things in Porsche Cup. He's only gotten better and better as the year's gone on. And his times, he's jumped in just about every practice server we've had up for the Bathurst 500 over the last couple of weeks. And every week he seems to find a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. And he's knocking on the door. Those guys are going to be knocking on the door of a pretty good result, I think.
Yeah, those guys in Ujit in particular, I mean, since he started, yeah, he wasn't quite there, but as you've said, every week, every round, he's getting better and better and better. And when the races I've commentated in, with the Porsches, again, he's had some really good results in Super 2. He got stronger as the season, went on. And, in the practice sessions, as I said, for in the lead up to Bathurst, he's looking, pretty solid out there. Obviously, with Roy in there, it's going to be a little bit of a wild card. We don't know too much about him or how fast he's going to be. But they'll be hoping just for a nice, consistent run and Mishra to bring home a strong result in the end.
Well, Bretton Foley has just commented in the live chat. The big question is we're still waiting on car 888 to be drawn. So I'm not sure if it's going to come out of my hand right now or not, but Lewis is about to tell me what garage that the one in my hand goes into.
Probably have to go my favourite striker's number, so number 14 for Thierry Henry.
For Thierry Henry. Geez, that's going back a long way, isn't it? How long has it been since Thierry Henry retired?
Oh, too long. Oh, since he retired, he did come back, but yeah, too long.
Short-lived comeback.
Yeah.
Well, for Bretton Foley's sake, it's actually not car number 888 that's been drawn. It's car 05 has been drawn for garage number 14, which is the Luke Rosella and Lime Mitch car, the second of the Volvo dealer team cars, at same stable as the Dane Liccardo and Liam Budd car. This is another interesting pairing. There's 2 very quick drivers in this car. Luke Rosella, of course, has a win under his, a couple of win and a couple of other really, really strong results under his belt from not only Porsche Cup but Supercars as well. And Lime Mitch, what can we say about him? He pretty much owned the one-lap shootout qualifying sessions for Super 2 this year. He dominated. In some cases, he was miles quicker than anybody else. And we're talking not just by like a tenth or two. We're talking by 6 and 7 tenths, Lewis. So I expect Lime Mitch to be the one that jumps in and puts a qualifying lap down in this car.
Well, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Luke is really quick, but Lime Mitch, as you said, he's really, really good at those one-lap dashes. If he hadn't have made as many mistakes and, tried one move too many in Super 2, he would have been the Super 2, he would have been up there for Super 2 champion as well. Because, yeah, each time in qualifying, he always seemed to put it on pole. And when he did, it was by, a few tenths of a second or more. So he's quite quick and he's getting better as well. And, the scary thing as well is that Luke Rosella, every time he gets in the car as well, he's getting faster and faster. So and he's also another one that, he's just a racing savant and jumps in anything. So he's dominating the Porsches at the moment. And he's been quite strong in the supercars here, and he's been, given some of the guys in ASE a bit of run. Hasn't been obviously a race winner there, but he's still been quite quick compared to a lot of the faster guys there as well. So that is going to be a really, really strong pairing, and I actually can't wait to see where they end up, because they have a really good chance at certainly a podium, but they could also take a win as well if all things go their way.
Yeah, you're spot on. I think that those guys will be targeting a top 3 finish for sure. And they're going to be right in the mix with one of the cars that's yet to be drawn, of course, which is the 888 machine. They'll be in the mix with people like Burko and Hans. They'll be in the mix with, of course, Redmond and Stancliffe, Foley and Ross, and the number 47 Stenberg and Warren car will be right up there as well. Those are the guys I think that are going to be probably fighting for the podium. So there's only 2 cars left and 2 pit garages left, and there was, I think, Pete Savage in the live chat called it pretty much correctly. I called it as it is. They're next to Stenberg, regardless of what happens here. It's just a matter of whether they're in front or behind in pit lane. All right. So I've got 2 cars left. We're taking them both out of the hat. Left hand or right hand, Lewis?
We'll go left hand.
Left hand. So that's that one there. And which garage, 4 or 6?
We'll go number 6.
Car 046 is drawn in garage number 6. This is the Phil
there it is.
The Phil Boak and Brock Harvey PB Motorsport VF Commodore, which means that the only one that can be left is car 888, which is the very last car to be drawn. So what a shock horror that one was. And car 888 goes into garage slot number 4. So let's just talk really quickly about these 2 cars. Of course, Phil Boak and Brock Harvey, no strangers to AMS Oz. And of course, Brock Harvey, we guess we call him the patron saint of AMS Oz because he's the man that started it all back in 2018. So those 2 guys pairing up aboard a VF Commodore. And I know precisely why it's the VF, because Brock pretty much classes the ZB as an Opel. He doesn't think it's a Commodore at all, which he's probably right, to be perfectly honest with you. And then the other one, which is the Savage and Will Devenish combination. Again, 2 guys that will be targeting top 3, if not the win, in the ZB Commodore, and they are running the Autobarn's Lowndes Racing livery from the last time that Craig Lowndes and was it Stephen Richards took
Stephen Richards,
race victory at the 500, at the 1000 in that liveried car.
Yeah, the 2018 livery Autobahn for those guys, and again, they're going to be really, really strong. Devenish will be looking to make amends after what happened last year at Bathurst, and as we know, he's really, really quick. And if he didn't start from the back in that one, he would have given Foley a run for his money. It would have been a really good fight. But also got Pete Savage in that car, and as we've seen, he's another one. He's getting faster and faster, and if they put it all together, they're a threat to anybody out there. So they're going to be one to watch. But also the Brock and Boat car, obviously Brock hasn't driven a supercar in a little while, but it's good to see him out there for the 500. And it's also good to see Boki out there because obviously he's had some time constraints, which has limited him to sort of dropping out of supercars this season. So that's going to be a fairly solid car. And again, they're going to be right there in the midfield. If things go their way with Phil Boak in the car, if he puts it all together and Brock does his job, again, they're a chance for the top 5.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So let's recap the order. So the men who drew the prime position in pit lane, car 718, Tim Redmond and Scott Stancliffe. Again, they're pretty thrilled with that, I think, right now. And it's actually Kiwis in the top 2 garages. Who would have thought that the Kiwis would swoop both the top 2 positions on pit lane? So NZ Snipes and She's, they're good mates right behind them in the Nissan. So that completely baffles me as to how that has just come out completely at random. Brenton Foley and Brendan Ross have grabbed garage number 3. Then Will Devenish and Pete Savage. Kurt Stenberg and Dane Warren. Again, question mark over Dane Warren, whether or not he'll be able to make it. If not, there's a talk that people such as Thomas McMillan may be drafted in as a replacement for Dane Warren, which could be, again, a pretty handy substitute. Brock Harvey and Phil Boak, garage 6. The Anson Motorsports number 94 in position 7. Daniel Cox and Callum Watmore. Termo and Cam Rutledge have garage 8. Greg Turra and Noah Turra in garage 9. And Matt Cecil and Taipan garage 10. Wayne and Liam Spencer in garage 11. Matt Schwass and Greg Nangle, the Team Racing Motorsport car manufacturer yet to be determined, garage 12. Rody and Zrolazak, garage 13. Rosella and Lime Mitch in garage 14. Ujit Mishra and Pierre Roy, garage 15. That car, actually, we should note, has been painted by Manuel Centino as well. So he's been one that's been involved in AMS Oz events over the last 12 months or so as well, and he's done a few good liveries. So thanks to him for painting that one up for those guys. Peter Thrower and Darren Kemp in the Ford Mustang in garage 16. And then AP Sim Sport with Lachlan Lock and Avenger Ben. Dane Liccardo and Liam Budd in the Volvo in garage 18. And the one that's going to be closest to the pit lane entry is going to be Steve Burko and Hans Brunswick in the Hardbass Racing ZB Commodore. Now, guys, just a reminder, I know there's a few guys that have blown up in the live chat a little bit about where you've been drawn.
Mainly Rosella.
Mainly Rosella. Don't despair. As we said at the beginning of the night, there are actually 40 garages in pit lane. We've just labelled them 1 to 19 there to make it easy for ourselves. What is likely going to happen is that you will have gaps between you. So garage 1 would still be garage 1, but garage 2 would then move back to garage 3 back to garage 5, and so on and so forth. So there's a little bit of separation. Of course, if there's any late entries into the 500, then we may need to move some things around. But as it stands, that is your order. And, well, all can be said now is bring on qualifying in a week and a half, Lewis.
Yeah, can't wait for it. Also seeing that the Hardbass Racing number 26 chassis is actually a Lada. I can't wait for that, because that means there's going to be a truck that's probably going to fly out of nowhere and just T-bone it off into orange or something. So obviously disappointing for Burko and Hans there, but it is good to see a Lada out there. But yeah, I can't wait. I reckon it's going to be a really good race, and qualifying itself is going to be quite a spectacle with a lot of guys out there that are really, really quick. So cannot wait.
Cannot wait to see some of these last liveries coming in, guys. Some of them are really, really good, and we've been really privileged to see some really good creativity coming out with some of these cars, and there's still a few more to go. So, guys, please don't forget, livery submissions are going to be due by the end of this week coming. So you've got about 7 or 8 days to get them in, so we can get the mod together and get it out, or together and get it out for everybody. But until then, happy practicing. Happy racing, and we'll see you all in about a week and a half. Thanks very much, guys, and thanks to Lewis for giving me a hand tonight.
Yeah, good luck, and go Hans.
Absolutely. F in the chat. Until next time, drive safely, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.